Hi, welcome to All Brands After Hours with me, your host, Courtney Douthat. Welcome to the show where we hang out and craft together. Today we'll be making last minute Valentine's gifts on a budget with our brother ScanNCut. Let's do it. So our first project is actually going to be a jewelry box. Now, I was scrolling online as you do, and I saw this really cute little jewelry box where it was like a travel size one where they engraved the name on it. And looking at it up close, I was like, I could do that with vinyl. And then that's how all of our projects started. We're like, I could totally do this. So I did go around and I did find a box or a jewelry box that was very, very similar to the one that I saw online. And of course, I'll pop the one on screen that I did find online. Very cute. But the price tag was $99. American dollars. 99. I'm not going to pay that much for it. I understand theirs is probably very nice quality and nothing knocking them. If you can buy that one for $99, you go right ahead because it's probably very nice quality. I'm not buying a jewelry box, travel jewelry box for $99. So I did find one that looked exactly like that one in my opinion. And I didn't love it, but I saw this one. And I thought it was very, very cute. Now theirs had organizers in it. Mine doesn't. It still has the little packet, the do not eat packet. But I love this because it was big enough where I could put my bits in there, my jewelry bits, and it was hard. So I know that it's okay to travel with. And I love the closure. It was a little brass closure. And this one was from Target, the Hearth and Hand line that Joanna Gaines, you know, the fixer-uppers do. Love this one. So it's very cute. It's in this pretty mossy green color, which I'm starting to really get into. So I loved it. I thought it was cute. So I feel like I could just use this one. Instead of just buying something that looks very much like the one I saw online, I like this one better. So if you do like that one, you can get that one. But this one is so much cuter. In my opinion, okay? So I have some different vinyl that I want to use on the top. I have this heat transfer vinyl, so we are going to use heat because this is a fabric material. Usually for something like this, I would recommend pressure sensitive vinyl, which is almost like a sticker. But since this is a fabric material, I think I'm fine with a protective cloth to heat it down and actually use the heat transfer vinyl. And I think the heat transfer vinyl will actually last a lot longer, especially using this as a traveling jewelry box, than pressure sensitive that might get nicked and, you know, pull up over time, even with the best pressure sensitive vinyl. Alright, so we have our vinyl of choice. And if you've ever used heat transfer vinyl before, you know that this is not the vinyl. This is the vinyl. But Courtney, it's not very pretty. What happened to my pretty shine? There's a clear part that holds the vinyl together. So we're actually going to be giving this to my sister-in-law. She's in the next room. So I'm going to put her initials on it. And then this is going to be like my little Valentine gift to her. I think it'll be cute. All right, so let's put shiny side down on a standard mat. So I am using my purple standard mat for this heat transfer vinyl. And I'm just going to lay it on there. And I'm going to be good and get my brayer tool because if you watched last show, I kept nicking myself with stuff. So there we go. And if you've never used a brayer tool before, all it is like a little mini steamroller. I love this thing, especially when your mat starts to lose its stick over time. This makes sure that it just stays on there really well. So let's go over to our machine and get our design. Alrighty, so we're going to go ahead and wake her on up. Good morning, sunshine. There we go. And let's go to patterns. And we're going to come to other fonts, or you could actually scroll down and right here are additional fonts. These are kind of like monogramming fonts in my opinion. So you've got like your varsity letters, a more pretty script one, or you have what is the Greek alphabet. So you could use any of those. Let's scroll up, let's look at these. And now these fonts that I'm in right now, you could type in something where the other ones you have to do individual because they're monogramming ones. Let's see. I like that one, but I think it would be pretty for something more script. The jewelry box that we're originally looking at, they had more of a block style font. I always go to this one. It's a favorite. You know what? I'm going to go to that one. Alrighty, now, if we were doing a monogram that had like a larger letter in the middle with two small ones on the side, well then the last name would be the one in the center. However, this one I'm going to do all the same size. So it would be B-A-D. And yes, her initials spell bad. So Barbara nailed it. There we go. Oh my goodness, I forgot about that. That is too funny. All right. Well, usually the D's in the middle whenever I do it that way. Oh my goodness. Is she gonna like a jewelry box that spells bad? Alright, so let's go ahead and hit edit, object edit, and we're going to resize. Now, I know I've measured my jewelry box, and I know that my jewelry box is about 4 by 6. So I don't want it to be the full 4 by 6. I do want to leave a good bit of distance on the sides. So I'm going to go ahead and up it. Now, if you notice when I am upping the width, the height is also upping because the ScanNCut wants to enlarge by like breathing, so all together at once. So if I go ahead and enlarge that, now there is a feature right here that you can lock that. So if I was to up the width, the height wouldn't up, and vice versa. So let's see. But I do want them to be proportional, so I'm going to go ahead and keep that on there. Alrighty. Let's go down a little. I forgot her initials. That is hilarious. Alright, there we go. And it's going to be about 2 going down. I kind of want it a little bit taller than that. So I am actually going to lock it and go ahead and up it. Alrighty, I love it. I think it looks great. Now we're going to go ahead and hit OK. And then we're going to come right here. And this is our flip tool. You see how it flipped it around? Because since we had to flip our vinyl, we're also going to flip our design. Now, if your design was non-directional, so say it was a heart, well, if I flipped it this way, it doesn't matter. If I flipped it the other way, okay, well, then it matters. But this way, it doesn't. So we're going to hit OK. OK again. OK again. Please select, and I want to cut. Now, once we get to this screen, something very important for vinyl is we're going to want to make sure that half cut is on. Currently, it's off. So I'm going to come to the wrench, scroll down 1, and turn half cut on. And you can also add a weeding box if you want to. A weeding box just puts a little bitty box around it, so that way you're not wasting any of your vinyl. So if I had a large sheet on here, well, it's only going to take up that area. Plus, if you're doing something that, say, I wanted a ton of her names, so there was like 6 of them on here, but I still want them individually because maybe I'm making boxes for her and a couple other people who have the same initial, but different initials. Well, then I could do that with the weeding box, so when I'm weeding them out, it's so much easier to see where one starts, one begins. So if I'm putting them super close to each other, so say I'm putting the next one right here, well then it's okay. I'm not going to accidentally weed something out. I don't want to because I know that there's a box around this. So, all right, let's load our mat. There she goes. All right, everything looks great. Everything looks good. Now I am using my black auto blade. However, I do recommend the vinyl kit if you do a lot of vinyl. I don't know where I put mine, but I do recommend the vinyl kit if you have it. It's a light blue blade. It just does vinyl better in my opinion, especially if your vinyl is starting to get a little old. All right, let's go ahead and let's hit start. All right, here she goes. She's gonna start and she always starts over there, but then she comes down to your material and she senses how deep that is, where that second part starts, because remember she wants to go halfway through the material, so she's not gonna automatically go all the way through. So she's actually detecting where that part starts so she does not cut all the way through, because that's keeping all of our letters together. Think about it. If it had cut all the way through, then I would have to go individually one letter at a time, make sure that they're lined up, make sure it's straight. I'm good. Let the machine's already lined it up beautifully. Let's go ahead and transfer it over like that. So there she goes. And here comes the box. So fast. Done. And that was in real time. There we go. Alrighty, so we're gonna take this off of our mat. It is 100% up to you if you wanna go ahead and weed it out on your mat. So a lot of times you'll store your vinyl in a roll. And if I'm trying to weed out something, especially pressure sensitive vinyl, it's gonna wanna roll back up on me. So leaving it on the mat to weed it out during that is pretty awesome. This, I know that it's not going to. It was a flat piece to start with. So this is white, so it might be kind of hard to see. But what you're gonna do is you're gonna start picking at it. You're gonna start coming to a corner and just pick. And then pull away the parts I do not want, which feels very weird. You're like, wait, don't you want the things that you do want so you can flip them, send them on over? No. So with heat transfer vinyl, and mostly any vinyls, let's be honest, you're taking away the things you don't want. So you're weeding those out, taking those away. So look at that. So that's done. That's gunk. Alrighty. Okay. There we go. Beautiful. And don't forget the inside of your A and B and all those. So pick tool. And sometimes you can weed it out without the pick tool. It's just so easy, especially if it's like a super intricate design. Just to have something, especially if you don't have fingernails, like I sometimes don't, then it's easy just to have the pick tool on hand. Lovely. Now, if you have a very intricate design and say you're weeding it out and you don't exactly remember what's supposed to be weeded where, because this is just initials, super easy. But if you don't, then I usually say, usually your machine is facing you. I face mine away so you can see better. But if you hit OK, your design is right there. So you can always use your design as like a reference guide while you're weeding to be like, okay, this part is here, this part is here. Because if you're weeding, it's such a very delicate cut, it might be hard to see. So being able to have that guide is super, super helpful in my opinion. There we go. There we go. Awesome. So there she is. I'm going to go ahead and take her off my mat. Oh, there it is. Now I am going to take my scissors and of course cut around where that weeding box was. If it was something simple like this, I usually don't put a weeding box, but I love to show you the option of it. So in case you are doing like batch style vinyl, or say you're doing an intricate design that has multiple colors that you needed, then it's kind of awesome to be able to section them out like that with a weeding box. There you go. Awesome. Boop. All right, now this piece is still good. I might cut that part off, but the rest of it's still good to use, and it's so easy just to have like a perfectly cut little part instead of my jagged scissor cuts that I do. All right, take my mat. All right, so now we have our box here, and we're just going to, maybe if I do it like this, you can see it better. There we go. Oh, it needs to be like this because of the little closure. So I'm just going to stick her initials on it, thinking when you're facing it like this, right? Yeah, that makes sense. All right, so now you could, of course, measure this and properly make sure you're centering it. I'm just gonna lay it down and eyeball it, to be honest with you. There we go. Okay, like maybe this. Yeah. Now the nice thing is that transfer, that clear part is kind of sticky, so if you notice, it's on there and I can move it around. So there we go, we have our cute little one. Now you're like, Courtney, what happens now? Now I'm going to take it over to the ironing station, and I'm actually going to put a protective piece of cotton fabric over it, and then I'm going to heat it up very lightly, very gently, and I'm going to try to make sure I stay in this area. It's okay if you were to get this. This feels like, you know, decent fabric, but I am going to make sure to try to stay in those areas. Now when I heat this, I am going to test it and pull it up, and if I notice that vinyl ever tries to pull up when I'm heating it down, you put it right back down, heat it up again. You're fine. As long as you put it down, lay it back down, smooth it back down, you should be fine to keep on heating it until it does it. A lot of people like to ask me, Courtney, about how long should I have the heat on there? It depends on the vinyl. Different vinyls take different times. Some like to be cold peels and some like to be hot peels. That means that a hot peel wants to be the clear part taken off right after it comes out of the press or out of your iron. It wants to be taken right off. A cold peel wants to cool down a little bit before you pull that piece off. So that is something I highly recommend. It usually is on the packaging of which one it prefers. And I've noticed that Caesar, they're not real particular, most of their vinyls, but I usually do give it like a second to cool down. Not a long time, honestly, not a long time to cool down, mostly because that plastic's kind of hot and I don't want to burn myself. So that is a little recommendation. So let's go ahead and go over to the iron and heat this up. Oh my goodness, it came out so pretty. Look at that shine. It came out so good. So I think we should go ahead and show it to her and go ahead and give it to her. Early Valentine's. Look how pretty that is. That is cool, and it's very functional. Like, you know, she can put all of her bits and stuff. Hey, Barbara. Hey. We made you something on the show. Barbara! I'm gonna bleep it right there. Because I was like, I forgot her initials were bad. For our next project, we're gonna jump into Brother Canvas. Let's grab a shape. I'm gonna scroll down and to find a heart, because we're actually going to be making earrings. So we're going to grab a heart, and I'm gonna go ahead and keep it a larger size. Part of me wanted to bring in different designs of hearts, different kinds, and I realized I just like the regular hearts, so I ended up making the design with that. So if you notice right here, I'm going to go ahead and turn them, because I actually want to make a stacked design where they're touching, because I am going to weld them together to make one long earring. So we're going to grab another heart, put it there, and just make sure that they're touching.
And of course you can have this be any shape that you want. It doesn't have to be a heart. It could be stars, anything at all. Moons would be really cute. So I'm going to go ahead and just line them up where I see that there is a little bit overlapping. And that's the point. I realized I didn't like the scallop heart. I wanted the straight heart. So now if you're looking at this and you're like, wow, Courtney, that's going to be a big earring. I'm just keeping it this size right now just to edit so I can see it a little bit better and you can see it a little bit better. Once I have the hearts where I want, I'm going to drag to select them all. And then I'm going to actually go to shapes and hit the weld tool and go ahead and have them all loop together. So now you see that there are no pieces in between. It's all together. I'm going to bring in an additional heart in the center because I think it'd actually be pretty cool if it looked like there was the heart was actually cut out in the center. And I will add those to all the other ones, but this is completely customizable. It's the beautiful thing about ScanNCut. You can make it whatever you want. And I'm just resizing that to kind of sit in the middle and just tweak it a little bit. I'm also going to add hearts into the centers of the other ones and angle them so then that way it looks like it's perfectly actually being cut out in the center and it's not actually two different pieces. Once I have all that lined up, I am actually going to come in and grab a circle and lower it down to be the hole that I actually put my earring piece through to actually, make it a proper earring. I'm going to go ahead and just let the ScanNCut cut that out for me. And you can arrange that wherever you want on the design. I'm just going to have it right up here to be some cute dangly earrings. Once I have everything done, I'm going to select everything on my mat again. That way I can resize it all down proportionally. If I had only had one item selected, then it would only resize that area. So having this already resized down, I know I want my earrings about 1 inch wide and about 3 inches down. Once we have that, I'm going to go to File, export to a FCM file. And since we do have wireless turned on in my machine, I can go ahead and send it over wirelessly. Now back over at our machine, we can go to retrieve data from the cloud. That's where it sends it.
All right, and it's going to bring it over. Look at our design. Now there is only one, and if I was to move any of the parts, it's going to move individually. So I want to go ahead and group everything together. So I'm going to do the select all tool, hit OK, object edit, and then wield it all together. So now if I was to move it, it's all one joined piece. How awesome. Now again, we have 2 ears, or at least I do. I have 2 ears, so I do want 2 of these, so I'm going to go back to Object Edit, hit the plus sign to go ahead and say, hey, I want 2 of these. And if you wanted to do them in batches, you totally could. Now they are currently facing the same way, and I think it would be kind of neat if they were facing opposite ways, so I am going to hit the flip tool to be able to flip that design. And now everything looks great. I'm going to go ahead and bring them up to the top because my cork that I'm making this isn't very, very large. So I kind of want to put them together. And again, if you were assembly aligning these, you could just fill this whole thing up with however big your cork or whatever it is that you're cutting them out. So let's hit OK. OK again. Please select, and we want to cut. Alrighty, now half cut is on because we did vinyl last. So I do want to come to that wrench icon and go ahead and turn that half cut off. And I'm going to go ahead and put it, it's got like a fluffy side, and I'm using a fabric mat, so I'm going to put it down on my fabric mat. And it's a pretty big sheet, so I'm not going to scan it in, but if you wanted to, you totally could scan it in. So we'll load it in. And I'm going to make sure to hit the wrench icon and turn half cut off, because I want to go through this whole thing. Here we go, hit start. And while she's cutting that out, of course, I want to do our membership spotlight. Bonnie Lights, thank you so much for being a member, Bonnie. And if you guys don't know, the membership spotlight is actually the all brands behind the scenes members that join our channel to get additional content. We've been doing weekly lives, or we're just starting to do weekly lives that are just for them. So that is actually, if you're on your desktop, there's a join button down below, and it is $5 a month to hang out with me some more. And then of course there are so many other awesome benefits. All right, let's go ahead and unload. Oh, Courtney, get your spatula tool. Why do you do these things? There we go. Oh, look, and I keep using that, and I will. Believe me, I will. So I'm going to grab my spatula tool right here, my little metal brother one, and I'm going to actually come to the design, and I go under and I wiggle. That way it softly gets it up. Because, I mean, your machine cut it out really well. Give her some help to get it off. Don't just rip. Do as I say, not as I do. All right, there it is. So I'm going to pop out the little hearts, and they're perfect. I might actually use them for a second pair of earrings. How cute would that be? Look at that. And then my little hole for the ear part. There we go. Or for the earring part. Look at that. How cute. They actually go with my outfit right now, to be honest with you. How cute is that little tousled hearts? They came out so good. And of course we have this one too. And I am going to use those other pieces. I'm going to put some jump ring in between those and create another pair of earrings. So our next project is technically for me, but technically not for me, but technically is for me. So we'll just say this is an early present to me. So my father-in-law, he sent me a picture of a mug that said, favorite daughter-in-law. And it's like our funny little thing that he's always like, oh, you're my favorite daughter-in-law. And I'm like, ha ha ha. I'm also his only daughter-in-law, so we're not hurting anyone's feelings doing that. But I was scrolling again, and I saw this shirt that said favorite daughter. And I was like, oh, that's so cute. But like, I wish it said favorite daughter-in-law. And I was like, if only they made a shirt that said that. And then I remembered, I have a ScanNCut. I can make it say anything. So I want to do a shirt. So I'm going to put it on this sweatshirt and have it say favorite daughter-in-law. I think it'd be so cute. Now the one that I saw online, that one was, I think, let's see, $88. That was the one that I saw online. And it didn't even say what I wanted to say. It said favorite daughter, which was super cute. But I want favorite daughter-in-law. So $88. That's, you know what, maybe I'm just frugal. That feels like a lot for a sweatshirt. Like, it's not even like a fancy dress, or it's a sweatshirt. So I went and found this one. It's very soft, very comfy, and I want to say it was $19.99. So $20 for this. So, and I'll have a price breakdown at the end of every single one of these projects. But let's go ahead and let's pick out our design, and then we'll pick out our vinyl and all that fun stuff. Alrighty, so we're in Brother Canvas. I'm actually going to come to fonts, and I am going to zoom in just a little bit for you guys so you can see a little bit. And I love that Brother Canvas has it formatted like it's one of my actual mats, so that way I know that this is going to be exactly the size it's going to be on my mat, because every single one of these blocks is an inch, so I know halfway is 6 inches. Alright, so we're going to click it, and we're going to type in favorite. Oh, and all caps, because that's how they had theirs, and I liked it. All right, favorite. And we're going to start with just with favorite right now. We're not going to do the whole saying, because I like the idea of favorite being at the top, then daughter, and then in-law right at the bottom. So let's go ahead, and we're going to select our font. All right, I think Antique Oakland is going to be my favorite. And I've got the bold already put on because it already comes in bold. But if you hadn't, that's where you would select it to make it more bold. Alrighty. So I'm actually going to make this a little bit shorter, and let's maintain ratio. Okay, let's see. I know my vinyl is about 6 inches tall, so I think I want my height of my letters to be about 3. Let's see, up the height. Now, if you notice, it won't go exactly where I want, but if you select this and go up or down, you can do it to the exact points that you want. Alrighty, so that looks good. I love that. Okay, I might make it a bit wider. It's about 839. Yeah. All right, so that looks good. I like that. So we're gonna select it, and then there we go. Select it, and we're actually gonna come to edit. We're gonna create an offset line. Courtney, what is an offset line? It actually creates a little bitty border around every single letter for you. So you could have it any spacing you want. I've noticed that a 16 was kind of my golden area because I was playing around with this earlier. Now you could have the outer or the inner. I want the outer because I want the outside of it. You could have round or beveled. I want round. And you can leave it as it is, delete it, or set it as draw line. I want to leave it as it is. And then if you select this one, it's just going to give you the outside because we have outside. But if we tell it, hey, we actually want both, it will do that. And I do want both. So we're going to hit OK. Look at that. How cool is that? And if you're like, wait, Courtney, I thought you wanted to do this in multiple colors. How is this going to happen? You select it, move it. There you go. You've got your piece for the outside, and you have the piece for the inside now. Alrighty. So very, very cool. Alrighty. And I'm actually going to lower this just one to a 12. Hit OK. Look at that. How cool is that? So now it's made an outside layer for me. And if I was to move it, there it is. So now I've got one piece for one color and one piece for the other color. So we've got that. How neat is that? So I'm going to move it for now because I'm actually going to hit I'm going to right click on my mouse and hit copy on this. And then I'm going to move those back. But I'm going to click here, right click, and hit paste. Courtney, why are you doing that? Because it already has the exact font that I want and everything. So I'm actually just going to double click this and delete out favorite and do daughter. There we go. Perfect. Now I will have to mess with the sizing just a bit on this one to match. So this one was a 8.39 and this one was a 3 height. So I'm going to select this. It's a 3 height, but it is a little bit wider than the other one, which I don't want. I want them exactly proportional. So 839, this one is way bigger, so we're going to bring that down to an 839. All right, looks good. There we go. All right, and we're going to do the same thing. Edit, create an offset line, hit OK. Boop, there we go. All right, and last one, we're going to come over here, right click, hit paste again. There we go. And click it. In law. There we go. Edit, create an offset line, hit OK. Boop. Awesome. This looks so good. All right. So, of course, every single one of them has its own little outer part, but I'm going to go ahead and send this whole thing over, my whole design over to my machine so we can start laying out our vinyl and getting it cut out. So we're going to go ahead and hit File, Export, Transfer, FCM. And I do have wireless set up, so I'm going to select that feature. Now, something you do want to remember is to make sure that your machine is turned on and the wireless is on. It said the machine is ready to download. So I've already registered this, of course, with my Canvas account, so I'm good to go. All right, so we're going to retrieve data from the cloud, which is where it saves to. And there's our design. How cool is that? So I'm going to go ahead and save this right from the start to my machine, because that way, while I'm editing, if something happens or I need to get another piece, I have it saved. All right, looks good. So I'm going to come to edit, and I'm actually going to edit out of the background things. So the outlines of each one of these, so I can just do one color at a time. There we go, beautiful. So I went ahead and I did scan in my material. So you do see it in the background like that. And if you ever want to do that, you can hit OK. And then right here is the scanning mat with the little bar through it. So I see that my pieces, there we go, my pieces, they line up great. So that's the divide right there, and none of them hit that, so I am golden. Alrighty, so everything looks great. Now, Courtney, wait a second, aren't you gonna do this with heat transfer vinyl? You're right, so I am gonna come to edit. I'm gonna come here to the selection tool, select everything on my mat, hit OK, object edit, and flip. All right, that way it's cut out correctly and it actually says the correct thing on my shirt. So I hit OK, OK again, please select and cut. And again, I'm using my black auto blade for this, but if you have the vinyl blade, that one's really great too. Half cut is already on because I did vinyl earlier, and hit start. Now, while she's cutting out, I always like to remind you where I'm going to be. So I will be in Biloxi, Mississippi at the EEM event on these dates right here. And I will be doing an electrostyle class, also hanging out in the booth, just having a good time. So make sure you come out and see me there. And then next after that, I will be at OSQE in Kenner, Louisiana on these dates. And I'll also be doing a hands-on class there. So definitely make sure you can make it out to either of those events. Come hang out with me because I never leave Louisiana and Texas. So the Mississippi one's pretty fun. It's a new state for me. I did go last year. That was a lot of fun. It was on the beach. Done. So fast. Now, usually I like to weed out while it's on here because, again, sometimes you roll it up whenever you do. But I'm going to go ahead and cut out my... Ooh, I hate that noise. I want to go ahead and cut out my color. So I'm going to take these off, put them back here for now, grab my next color, and go ahead and just put it on my mat and get this going. This is a beautiful part about assembly lining. Ooh, it is a sticky, sticky mat. There we go. Okay, there we go. Beautiful. Hit OK. I'm gonna go ahead and just load this into my machine. Alrighty, so we've cut out that first part, and I'm gonna go ahead and now jump over to home to grab my second part. So retrieve data from the machine, scroll all the way to the bottom, there it is. Hit OK. And now I'm gonna edit out the parts I just cut. So I'm gonna say edit and delete. And so I just want those outer bits. Let's see, that's one, that's one. You are not one. Delete you out. Let's see. Oh, you are also not one, so delete you out. Awesome. Now we're just go ahead and pull all of those. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and push this one up a little bit further. So if you ever want to come to the eyeglass, this icon moves the actual design. This just moves what you're seeing currently. So if I was to click this, I would just come down one. We see my actual design's not moving. If I select this, then my design's moving. So I'm actually going to move this up as far as I can where it's not touching that top design, but it's pretty close because my vinyl is not that big. So I'm going to use every piece of it that I can. Okay, that looks beautiful. It's off of that line, so I know it's okay, and I could probably go even a little closer. All right, that one looks good, so hit okay. Move this just a bit down. Alrighty, everything looks great, everything looks golden, but wait, we gotta edit, select everything, hit okay, object edit, flip it, hit okay, okay again, please select, and we wanna cut. Alright, half cut is on, everything looks great, and start. Alright, now while she's cutting out, I'm gonna get that vinyl ahead, get my picker tool, okay? And I'm gonna go ahead and start weeding out the parts I do not want. Now I forgot to put a box around these guys, so I am gonna cut off this vinyl. That's perfectly fine because I am frugal and I save everything. But that's a big chunk. And sometimes it's kind of like applique where you only need that little bit of fabric to be the nose of a snowman or, you know, something random that you need. So I kind of do that with vinyl. But I am good about organizing my vinyl together, so it's not just a bunch of little pieces everywhere. Get that under there. And now, since this is just the piece, and I only know that the word favorite is this whole thing, I'm just coming straight from the corner of it and separating that corner like this, and then just pulling. So that way, it's easy for me to start. I know exactly where it is. Again, some vinyl, it's just so precise, it's hard to see where in the world it is. So starting from a corner is just kind of the easiest thing to do. Oh, and you're done. I'm not even done weeding this out. Come on. Let me hurry. I'm sorry she's waiting on me. Alrighty, so on this one again, we're weeding out the parts we do not want. Starting in the corner, just weeding on out. Look how quick this was. Oh, I love it. All right, we're gonna weed out the inner bits. I don't know how many times I've gone to weed something out and I forgot to weed out the inner parts. If you notice, I'm push up I take my hand over here and I push it up where I need to like find that inner part. The reason I do that is because if you actually bend the vinyl just a little, that line shows up magically. Now don't do it enough where you're gonna hurt it, but just where you can see that line. Again, if it's a very intricate design, that kind of helps see where things are. All right, so I have my shirt here, and luckily it has this little thing right here where I can see the center. But if you didn't, you could always fold it and like mark it with a chalk line if you want to be really exact, especially if it's a gift for someone. This is for me. So I'm gonna do my outside pieces first because those are my like border, because that needs to go down first. So favorite is first, and you can of course bend the vinyl to find where your center is. Don't crease it, but just, you know, you can find where your center is. Or you can count the letters and kind of do it that way. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, that's hard because I is super thin, so I wouldn't do that for this one if the letters were like perfectly spaced. All right, so it looks like the O is my center. So we're gonna do favorite. There we go. And then it's gonna be spaced enough so I could do multiple of these at the same time. So we're gonna come down, daughter. All right. See, and I'm trying to leave the same amount of space between them. Okay. And this is kind of sticky because remember the back of this is a little sticky, so I'm able to like kind of move this, and it's clear, so I really can see my design. I love that about it. Okay, and then, okay, so we're gonna protect the cloth down and heat this up to iron it down, and then that way the next one we can go ahead and put our, oh my gosh, okay, I got a little sneak peek of what it's gonna look like. It's cute. It is very cute. All right, let's go ahead and heat it up.
All right, and same like the other one, we're gonna put a protective cloth down, just a piece of regular cotton fabric. We're gonna make sure it completely covers that plastic, because again, ironed plastic, never good. And I'm gonna go ahead and press, literally press down with the even pressure around my design. If you have a heat press, that's even better in my opinion. It gets a good heat.
How good did that come out? Oh my goodness, I love it. That is so good. I think it actually might look better than the original, but I also might be a little biased. So I love the way that this came out. So I actually ended up, instead of centering it, I did off center it, because when I like put it down on there and I was talking to someone, and then I looked and I was like, wait, I like that. Hold on, this is cool. Look at that. That is so good. And if I do say myself, it looks like it was professionally made, and it was by this professional. So I love it. So I actually have a little bit of audio from showing this to him on a FaceTime. So I made something technically for you, but for me, and you are being recorded, so.
What is that?
It's a sweatshirt.
Favorite daughter. Oh, you gonna wear that pink shirt?
All the time, every day, every time you're around.
Oh my God.
Do you like it? Made it with the ScanNCut.
It's really nice.
It's cool. I like it.
Well,
Anyways.
I appreciate that. I didn't.
Oh goodness, I had a lot of fun. So tell me in the comments which one was your favorite. Is it the favorite daughter-in-law sweatshirt? Was it the heart earrings? These are actually pretty cool. I still need to put the little thing in them. But it matches what I'm wearing. Like, how perfect. And then I have all these little hearts that I will make an individual pair of earrings, but you'll see that. Of course, I'll do clips of that. So was it those, or was it the gift box that we made, or gift box, the jewelry box that we made for Barbara? Alrighty guys, thank you again so much for joining me tonight, and don't forget that the Brothers ScanNCut is available on our website, allbrands.com, and we truly appreciate when you do purchase through us. We are a mom and pop small business, and when you purchase through us, not only are you helping us continue that, but you're also helping us continue this free education that we do, guys. And I absolutely love doing these videos, so thank you. Whew. Don't forget to like and subscribe, because it's the easiest way to let us know that you guys want more of these videos, and y'all have a good night. Bye. You know me, you know I'm for real. Yeah. And I am going to see, do I have my reading tool? Let's see. Can't find my brother one, so I'm gonna use a generic one. I still can't believe her initials spell bad. That is hilarious. And if I wanted to put it, it's so cute, but funny at the same time. I kind of feel a little useless, not gonna lie, when she's cutting out. I'm just sitting here, just hanging out, and being good on the show. I'm putting away my mess. I'm not gonna let it get as messy. You guys can't see the floor. Okay, do you want to see something I made?
Still muted.
I know. Unmute yourself.
Click on the microphone.
There you go. Welcome back, sir. Yep. And then when...
Your birthday coming up next week?
Yes, next Wednesday.